This is the concept bag. So I didn't use any real measurements in this, and I used a scrap. We'll be using an exact measurement and exact measures. But what you need to know is that a corner is cut out, a corner is cut out, and we have a rectangle that is cut out. We have 4 pieces that are exactly the same. This can be duplicated in any size with any material. What we're going to do now is we're going to put these right sides together. We're going to put this one right side together. If you have directional prints, make sure that you're minding those directional prints. Now, we're going to stitch here, here, here on this one. On this one, we're going to stitch here, 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 leave an opening, and here. Once you're done with your pieces, you'll have 2 pieces sewn together like this. Now we're going to go to our machines again, and we're going to stitch our corners. So in the bottom of our bags here, we're going to pull our corners together like this. We're going to nest our seams going this way and this way, and we're going to stitch on all 4 corners. These 2 and these 2 down here. Now we've done our bottoms. This one is our inside. It has the opening for flipping later, and it's right here. So we're going to leave it just the way it is. This one is going to be our outside. We're going to flip it right sides out, just like this. Now we've got this. So now we're going to take this and we're going to put it inside. We're putting our inside and our outside together while putting them right sides facing, just like this. And now what we're going to do here once you get all of this squared up, we're going to mark, we're going to stitch from here down, stitch up on this side, connecting the inner and the outer. On this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start here, go down, over, and up, and back tack. Then we're going to do up here, we're going to back tack, sew, back tack. Back tack, sew, back tack. Meet you back here. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to cut right here to make sure that bag turning is going to be easier for us. Making sure not to cut the threads, of course. And we're going to do the same thing here in our little corners here. I guess I could have got some different scissors, but I didn't. And do the other side.
Our toast is cooking.
Thanks, babe. Okay.
I'm obsessed with peanut butter banana toast.
Yeah.
It's good though.
Okay, so now our bag is ready to be turned at this point. Actually, it's not.
It is. Just a video.
I just forgot. Well, actually, it is. I forgot. So it's fine. So we're going to go in our little hole that we made right here, and we're going to pull our bag in right side out.
Are you what?
No, I'm doing a video for YouTube.
Yes.
Chatty Betty.
I'm excited for toast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with toast.
I mean, I would take some toast just with butter.
Oh, you have to try the peanut butter banana.
I mean, that's fine, but I would also take some regular toast. I haven't ate all day. I only
Make
got
you one of each.
only got one bite of my breakfast this morning because Holly took it.
Same thing with dinner. What's that?
Okay, so now we have our bag here is kind of crazy, chaotic. We're just gonna fix all our corners and all of those good things, you know, and we're gonna pull up our handles as well. This is just a really quick and simple little project. Okay, now we can put the inside. This is the inside that still has the tiny hole in it. We're just gonna machine stitch this closed, or you could hand stitch it. I'm gonna machine stitch it. Okay, now our opening is completed, and so this is the inside. I know it's harder to tell because I used the same color fabrics, but you're just gonna have to trust me that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so now here's our bag. Here is our handle. So now at this time, we're gonna do a top stitch. We're gonna make sure that our raw edge is turned in at this time. Just make sure it's turned in, all pretty, like this, okay? And of course, when you do a regular size bag and not this teeny bag, you would have a more logical handle and square and all those good things. But this was just to show you the general idea of things. I just used a scrap. But the design is meant to be used with a fat quarter. That's just a fat quarter buster, is what I was thinking. It's just really simple, and I'm going to show you a little bit more detail to it in just 2 seconds. As soon as I get these guys turned in. So we want this turned in. Now we want to make sure that we're leaving our holes open. We don't want to stitch in or we don't want to stitch this closed. This we want to remain open, okay? So what we're going to stitch right now is we're going to top stitch here, and we're going to top stitch here, and then we're going to top stitch. We're going to go here, down, around, up, over, down, around. We're leaving a pocket for our drawstring. We can go to the machine together to do this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is our top stitching. We're going to start just like this. We're going to come down. Across with our top stitch. going to try to match the same as over here. I should have measured, but this is just a little prototype, little happy bag here. So I'm not going to stress about it too much. And we're going to go down again. Okay. And then we're going to top stitch across here. Okay, so now we're going to trim, and I'm going to show you the inserts. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to use a shoelace that I had laying around, since this is just a tiny, basically, example bag for you. I'm just going to use a shoelace, but you would use any sort of string or elastic that you would like to use, and you could use any sort of pusher tool that you would like to use as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through here, just like you would with anything else. And I thought that this might be a little bit easier to use, just because it was already kind of hard in there. Let me get some little tweezers. Well, these tweezers are super sharp, so they do kind of get hung on stuff. But so there's one side in, and then we're going to come in the other side, and I'm going to show you how this bag would work for you. And it's the same process, the same principle. It's the dimensions is what you will have to work on to figure out what you want to do. And of course, you could take the front cover and you could quilt it. You could do whatever you wanted to do with it. These little tweezers are just going through it like little needles. This is super impressive tweezers. So, I mean, you could use like hemostats or whatever you wanted to use for your threading of your strings. So once you got this through, all you've got to do is I'm going to essentially just judge how much I need, which looks about like this. And then I'm going to actually stitch this together real fast. You could tie it if you wanted to. I'm going to stitch this. Give me 2 shakes. Okay, so I've sewn it together right here. So I'm just going to cut the extra off. Again, you could use elastics or whatever you wanted to do. And then I'm going to just kind of spin this around where the sewn part is inside of the bag handles, I mean the sidewalls. Should have trimmed it a little bit more maybe. There we go. And it's just going to pull right on in. Okay, so this is actually the front of your bag, and this is the back of your bag. I know this tiny bag looks wonky. So once you use it to put all of your things in, then you take this and you can draw it up the sides, and then you carry it out just like that. And you take it out. Once it's made big, it's really pretty. You also can take, and when it's larger, you can take a dowel rod or some other type of equipment, and when it's in its full size position, using a fat quarter, you could use a dowel rod and put it in place where it stays the same width across, just like this, where it turns into a handbag like that. And it's very, very cute. So like I said, this was just a little sample just to give you the general idea of how things would go. And again, once that you get this where you want it to be and you get the angles right, this is going to be the cutest